Hey guys, welcome back to the Stage Talk podcast segment on this channel. So this is going through the results, and it's going to be a general review of the New York Pro, technically Tampa Pro, whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk about the results surrounding a lot of the stuff in this show because it's a bit controversial. It's a bit controversial, lads, isn't it?
It's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah. How do we want to?
Dan's missing. He's too busy getting massive. So you just got me, Jermaine, and Big Thorbs. What's going on, Jack?
Finish your mouthful, boy. Didn't your mum ever tell you that?
But yeah, no. We'll have Dan back for the Cali Pro review, so expect to see him again in future. He's still with us. Thorbs, I believe you have the results for the top 6 up for the Open. Do we want to start with Open? Do we want to do any of the other divisions first?
I think there's so much to talk about in the Open in this one. I think you just stick to the Open.
Cool.
That's right.
We can give a brief mention of the winners of 212 and Classic, but I think in this there's so much to talk on this. Just stick to Open, really.
Okay, cool. Shall we quickly go through the class winners? So I'll just grab a quick picture of them. I'm sure I'll be able to find them.
We're not really going to mention the women's. We don't know really how to judge it.
I don't. So, yeah.
If you won on the weekend, fair play to you. You know.
Yeah. Congrats to all class winners.
And if you're an ITV Pro listening to this, fair play to you.
You'd be surprised, Jack.
I want to try and find a picture real quick of the Classic winner.
What, Logan Franklin?
Mr. Logan Franklin.
Shall I look him up? Has he got some on his Insta, maybe? A stage picture?
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Logan. Ooh. Logan.
Look good.
Franklin.
Top.
Have a quick look. Yeah, so congrats to the winner, Logan Franklin. Do you know what? Going into this, when he stands on his own, I was a bit nervous for him.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. Like, Joe, when you put in the group chat a picture of him hitting some poses from the front and transitioning to the side, I wasn't sure what to make of it.
That look good.
Yeah, looking at these pictures, I quite like the look of this. You know, he is lean.
Oh, he might not be like, fit the so-called classic physique criteria to the T, but he's got a very 70s physique.
Yeah, but does he or does he not? I personally think he fits that better than potentially anyone, really.
But the class isn't built on golden era physiques. It's just height and weight. Really.
The two guys who he placed ahead of are just poor bodybuilders.
Yeah. But that's 80%.
That's true. I think
of the classic class anyway.
Yeah, I think he was rewarded for the fact he was in that lineup more classic.
Yeah.
Than anyone else.
Well,
yeah.
I know there was some slight controversy with him winning the show. I've heard a few people say the guy in second should have won. I completely disagree. It was extremely top.
That guy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't agree.
No.
I think this was actually well deserved. When he stood next to everyone else, he stood out like a sore thumb for being the most aesthetically pleasing for that class.
He's what I look for in the classic physique. So
yeah, like he's got the hallmarks of it, right? He's got big arms,
small.
I think a little bit more leg.
Yeah.
And then he'd be an absolute force, I think.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Like I didn't quite like how his quads looked when he stood on his own, but next to people he looked good.
He's very weak around like the knee area.
Yeah.
So like both sides in and out to sweep around that area are pretty
And
weak.
again, does that add to the classicness of his physique? Because I think it does.
Yeah, that's true.
He does look very rugged, doesn't he? I quite like that look.
Yeah.
He doesn't
even just a little bit more. But let's not forget, this guy came from physique.
Yeah.
He probably still trained his legs, but they probably weren't at the forefront of his training.
No,
so
sure.
I think give him a few years. Like I really like him, and I really like his physique. So, but
I think he's going to be
becoming a dad too.
Yeah, he's also got banging misses. So well done, son.
Look at this.
Frank McGrath X. Yeah.
Like, that looks sick.
Oh yeah.
But still very. I think that's quite top heavy though. Look at it.
It is very top heavy, yeah. But his waist and like the structure is there, right? You can see it. Like that shot looks sick.
That is classic, you know. That is classic for sure.
Yeah, there's him and his missus.
Because let's not forget, Arnie didn't have the best legs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean.
So
I think if he had dominant legs, it'd take away from.
But like, by no means are his legs actually small. It's just
he's very wide. He's a big guy. So.
Yeah, he just needs to bring him up a bit more. I think they just need to catch up a bit, and that's all. But they're in though. They're peeled.
Smashed everyone.
Look at 212.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Who we
Redemption?
Roku?
No.
Yeah.
Just go
second.
Just go Bo Lewis, the Flex Diesel.
I'm sure they have pictures on MD.
Yeah, they do. They have one comparison.
Oh, okay.
So obviously Bo Lewis came second in Tampa, and has come back here. In this comparison shot, it looks very, very close.
Yep.
However, I think if we look at all the pictures, even though this is the only picture we have, conditioning wise, Bo Lewis topped
what is that?
Jason Lowe in most of the shots. So he might
it was more muscular. Although I did have Jason Lowe winning a few of the shots.
Yeah, I think it
was apples and
oranges.
Look
at the leg there, if you guys can see that.
The separation's night and day different there, though. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
That is
wrong. Don't get me wrong. Jason Lowe has an incredible physique. Because I know we shared it in the group yesterday his updates before the show, and he looked awesome. But on stage, it didn't quite translate to the same. So if you go down here now, for example, there
you go.
Yeah.
I prefer Jason Lowe in that shot.
He's got a lovely structure, obviously coming from the classic division.
Give him a couple more pounds, give him another year or two, and you got to think. I think Bo Lewis is going to be like top 8 at the Olympia, so there's no slouch at all coming into
Reminds
the
me
show.
a lot of who's that open guy from Brazil?
Rafael Bandeira.
Yeah, he has some hallmarks of that in his physique.
Yeah, I can see that. Keep skipping through the pictures quickly. Just have a look at these.
That looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not a good shot.
That looks very uncomfortable. I think that's a clear win there for.
Yeah.
Look and
shots. Just and density that'll come with time.
Yeah, he's young and he's moving up. So. Yeah, that makes sense. But that's cool. I think I prefer his back shot.
He compares very well from the back.
Yeah. Look at that.
He's got much better glutes. Glutes is really good.
Yeah.
So
the glutes are just solid there. And then he looks very lean through his glutes there in comparison to his side shots as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It looks like he'd be more separated if you just look from the rear. And then, the back shot there.
Again, I think he wins the lats. That's like looking at a small Ronnie and a small Jay, to be fair.
Yeah, you can tell that he's really trying to open that up.
He's really wide.
Yeah.
Bo's got those big, round, flaring lats. I mean, that's an easy shot for Bo right there.
I feel like he could pull that in a bit more. I feel like that's kind of him breathing in between.
Yeah, he needs to bring that in massively. What's the first thing you notice about Bo Lewis's side shots?
How tight he is for the mid.
It's not what I notice. I noticed that you can see purple trunks hanging over his quads.
Yeah.
I think, fair play, son.
Yeah. Mate, some God-given genetics.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, he looks a bit washed out there.
Yeah, a bit shallow,
through his abs. He looks a bit shallow through there.
And
then the most muscular both look pretty good.
Great, yeah.
Capped. Yeah. Right, cool. Shall we move on to open then?
Let's jump into the big boys.
So, big boys.
Go on, MD.
MD again? Yeah.
Shout out to big man for turning pro yesterday as well. Looked
Walker.
Yeah,
amazing.
We'll do that. We'll do that again.
All right.
Don't jump the
Yeah,
gun.
so this is interesting. So this guy was in the top 4. This guy was not.
Hassan came 4th.
And Patrick Moore came 6th.
Oh, did he?
6th, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I had Hassan prejudging. I had Hassan completely wiping the floor with everyone. To be honest,
I agree.
His presentation wasn't
He
fantastic.
didn't improve that much by the finals, did he?
I think he washed out a little bit.
Yeah.
my only, like, I had Hassan winning. By far the most muscular guy on stage, by far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say his condition was the best on stage, but I'd say there weren't that many that were that far ahead of him. You know, like John's not in better condition than him there.
Yeah.
No.
My only issue with him is his presentation from the front.
Yeah, it's not great.
Is awful. Like, he's the biggest guy on stage, yet he brings himself in so much. His front double, his front lat spread, and even his standing relaxed, he's like not showing himself off at all.
Yeah.
So it reminded me of when Arnold says in Pump and Iron, you know, if you're a small guy, you got to make yourself look bigger and present yourself as big. You know, I think he's relatively young as well. I think he's under 30.
Oh, yeah. He's like he's 25, 26.
Basically.
That is wild, isn't it? That is so wild. Yeah, no, it looks like for Hassan, like when I look at the shot, I feel like he looks so tight when he's in this pose.
Yeah.
He looks like he's pulling a smile, but it kind of looks like he's almost straining a bit to be in the pose. Whereas,
if you can see, look at the way De La Rosa hits a front double.
Yeah.
He's got a lovely front double. Look at the angle of his elbows.
Yeah.
So they're a lot higher, which obviously brings the lats out more. Yeah. Whereas with Hassan, they're parallel to the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't quite bring them out. That instantly makes him look even smaller, you know?
Yeah. And it's not like he's not gonna lose any arm from doing that.
No,
because arms are huge. Like he doesn't lose out. So I think he needs to work potentially more on this flexibility in poses.
Presentation, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
And by far the most muscular guy on that stage.
Yeah. And this is an interesting one. So this is number 3 before, number 2 from Tampa.
Yeah.
And where did Dwayne end up placing this show?
It was about 9th.
Isn't that insane?
I don't really think so. I think everyone kind of jumped on a hype train, as I said in the Tampa review as well.
Yeah. He didn't look worse. He still looked really good, but he's just up against bigger guys, especially in the lower body. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that because of the lineup, it highlighted a lot of the issues he has with his physique, and that's why he got pushed down.
Yeah.
Whereas somewhat I can understand why Iain didn't get pushed down that far, because he had a lot of the hallmarks of the people he was against. Who
Levy until the end.
Yes.
Touch on that at the end.
Yeah.
If you go back to the comparison of Patrick Moore with Hassan.
Yeah.
So obviously Patrick Moore's been slated for his sort of lack of size.
Yeah.
However, I feel that he's already made massive strides in that.
I think so.
He did not look small at this show.
No.
And considering there's some big guys in this show, he didn't look small at all.
This is him stood next to
the biggest guy on stage.
The biggest guy, like the I guess the Rolly Winkler of this show.
But let's put it this way.
The mass monster. If
Hassan hits his front relaxed the way that Patrick does, how big is he going to look? Do you know what I mean? Like, if he got wide like that, it would help him massively. But anyway, so Patrick Moore is obviously, he has put on size all over. Still needs a little bit more in the legs. Yeah. But that's just because he's so wide up top.
Yeah.
You know? So a bit more in the leg department. But honourable mention to him because his condition was on par with Max Charles, best in the show.
Yeah.
So like from a condition, like I loved the look he brought here. As long as he carries on adding muscle and to that same frame, it's going to look awesome, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
he just needs to, like he's saying, he's taking his time, right? So he's playing it smart for him. And and if he brings this crisp condition consistently, I don't see why that's an issue.
No.
You know?
Here's a question for you. If that Patrick Moore turns up to Cali in a few weeks, what do you think? Because
I don't know.
Potentially wins.
Judging he's won Cali before, so he's a former champion.
Yeah.
You know, they like him over there.
It's a Cali look. It's a Cali look as well.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It's very pretty. You know, it's more petite.
The mustache, the 70s porn stash. It's got all going for him. All going.
But if the thing with Patrick, like, there's nowhere bad that weight, extra muscle can go because of his frame. Like, his lats basically start at his waist.
Yeah.
And his chest is half the size of his torso. So a bit more in the tricep, a bit more in the legs, especially from the back. And, you know, there's no reason why in the next year or two he's not going to be winning 2, 3, 4 shows.
He doesn't look like he's really got that many holes. He just needs to be bigger. And that's it.
He doesn't, which is why it's promising. Yeah. He doesn't need to rush anything. He knows that. He's really good mates with Phil. So, and Phil's in his ear all the time. Phil knows the mistakes he's made.
Yeah.
So he's basically reiterating to Patrick, like, don't do what I did. Take time, because you will get there. He's not young, but he's certainly not, like, old, you know? So
you can see he's still got a fresh look. Like, he's late to the sport, so he's not battered himself from, say the age us three have.
Yeah, he still looks relatively fresh.
Yeah, for sure. He's a very clean look to the muscle. But yeah, good shout for mentioning Patrick for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so
what else we got here?
If we go up,
this is a big one here.
Yeah. So this was at pre-judging. So they moved Hassan into the middle, and they moved Iain from the middle onto the outside. I had no argument with that on the pre-judging. You know, I think you can clearly see who's the best in this shot. And for me, that's Hassan by far. Front doubles, you know, is Iain's weak shot. John's got I could
understand why. I could understand why John would be a continual good comparison for Hassan throughout this show, just because of how well he hits some of the poses that Hassan seems to struggle with. But in this shot, stood next to people, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, John doesn't have a weak body part, right?
Hassan's legs are literally twice the size of John's there.
Yeah,
like literally twice the size.
Yeah,
it's like John's very, very balanced, and Hassan is pretty balanced considering
he's bottom heavy though.
Active. Yeah,
I think he has to be bottom heavy because he's not got the smallest of waists.
Yeah,
no.
So I can understand that, but like here, because he stood next to one guy who hits this beautifully but has smaller legs than him, and then on the other side he stood next to someone who looks like their waist is bigger than him.
Yeah,
so
it's not.
He's not struggling for this. Like he looks like the clear winner if we're going off of just this pose.
Yeah.
And even like if you look at the chest, like how like cut out, separated, peeled he is through his upper body here.
And then you look at Iain's, who's just non-existent.
Yeah. Like Iain looks flat through his chest here.
That's not shitting on Iain because he's a fantastic bodybuilder, you know. But his chest is his weak body part. Everybody knows that. He knows that. So,
it's really outlining his issues here.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And John's not slacking either. John looks pretty good.
John's got one of the best front doubles going. You know,
so it's really not in Iain's favour for this shot.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's interesting considering that.
And then this is a nice one. So I'd argue that Max Charles was probably the most peeled guy at the show.
Yeah,
no doubt.
His condition was fantastic.
You could see the vascularity through his.
And I know this is only one shot, but if you look at that, like Max Charles is known for having weak legs. Okay, there's not that much difference between.
They don't look weak
Iain's and Max's there.
It may be a little bit
Max
more
has-
shallow in terms of thickness, but
Yeah.
the actual size and width on them is
Yeah.
not doing them any bad favors or anything. You know, it looks good.
And Max has, he's got the calves.
Yeah,
That's the
ironic.
thing that I've seen online a lot over the past 12 hours is the calves thing with Iain, how they're now seen as an issue for him, whereas before they weren't.
I don't even think calves are judged on a bodybuilding stage.
Sadly.
Like all jokes aside, I actually don't think they are.
Yeah.
I've been told before that from where the judges are sitting, they can barely see them.
Mm.
That's why you're just going to make them that big, they pop above the stage.
Yeah, you just got to have the most ridiculous ballsack calves that they can't ignore them.
But yeah, Ian's, he's getting smashed in this pose, let's be honest.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't, we'll get to Iain, but I didn't like his trunks.
Yeah, I agree.
That fabricy look to them.
I think he should have gone with black or a darker colour. Myself.
Yeah. Max working with Milos again for the show. He even said in one of the interviews running up to the show that he'd not had a gym to train in.
He trained for 5 weeks.
I wish I looked like that after 5
weeks.
What the?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Again,
yeah, he blew out
just like the Arnold, Max has been thoroughly
Here's a question for you. If this was legitimately in New York and not in Tampa, so it was the New York Pro in New York, who wins this show?
I'd say Hassan.
I say Max Charles.
Max or Hassan, yeah.
No, I know Max is he's a New Yorker, right?
Yeah, he's a Yonkers boy, so.
The way I think, like, a lot of the judging panel was the same as the New York judging panel.
But there's a level of politics and expectation that comes with going to a completely different state, So I can see why the judging would be, and again, same again if it was in LA, somewhere like that, it would be completely different, different.
100%.
So yeah.
Okay, so if you go back,
where we're looking. This one?
Let's get that second call out. Yeah, front double biceps,
Interesting, yeah.
Okay, so
I'd say
here we've got the most conditioned guy in the show in Max Charles.
Yeah.
And the biggest guy in the show.
We've got the biggest guy in the show next to him.
And the biggest surprise of the show.
Yes. Then I think but Hassan is not looking out of condition here, do you know what I mean? Which is why I have an issue with the results.
Yeah.
If his condition was poor, I could see it, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't outstanding, but it was good. And if you're gonna not put Max Charles up there, like how can you not put Hassan up there?
Exactly. It's like you're clearly not judging condition as the overall factor for this show.
Yeah.
Then why have you put people who aren't the biggest and in decent condition? You've put the person who's sort of in the middle of both.
Yeah.
As the win, which is just a bit weird.
And then we have Justin Rodriguez.
Justin
Rodriguez. In some shots, I thought he looked really good.
Yeah.
But
in this shot,
I don't know.
I think his lower body conditioning is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know whether it's an issue with the peak or what, but his lower body is really holding a lot of water.
It looks like
you guys tell me, right? He's got the look of a bodybuilder because you see it a lot, and I know you two follow the sport as close as I do. So there's always that one show where when a bodybuilder's on the slide, they're sort of coming great just before they melt. He's got that look, in my opinion. So his arms, they look really separated, but you can see they're not full on in size as the way they have been in the previous years. His legs look a bit slight, and his stomach distension was clearly obvious in the show, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, his midsection was apparent. The only thing is, though, because when he turns to the back,
he's smashed a lot of people. The back
his
of the worst.
rear shots, his rear shots are peeled. Like,
I know, it's so weird.
The condition in his back is fantastic.
Yeah.
But then his lower is pretty poor.
It's weird.
Jermaine, if you go back, I think there's a back shot of
I think Jermaine's just going to sort
this one here. You want in this?
Max Charles and Louise again, yeah.
So in that shot, Justin absolutely nuked Max. Like,
pretty crazy.
That is sick. That is absolutely sick.
But then we look at this, and Max Charles is one of the most peeled guys in the show. Yeah,
he's got But
look at the rear shot in the lower body, and it's not there.
No.
So
I think a lot to do with that is.
Was this from prejudging? Was this prejudging?
Yes.
Do you think he tightened up a bunch before finals?
It is, but I think this is quite a common look when it comes to Miloš's kind. He pushes carbs a lot and obviously uses certain protocols to peak for the stage. You know, when they are super conditioned, they come in really full. But then in areas that aren't, you know, as conditioned as, say, Louise's glutes and hamstrings, you know, if you're holding a bit of fat there already, you know, the protocol Miloš is known for is only going to push excess fluid in those locations and just take away from that physique, but adds in other areas, which is why it looks so super full and super fucking ripped from the front.
Yeah.
But also, Max is noticeably underdeveloped in that area, especially like glute and ham.
I mean, he's getting on. Like,
so if it doesn't have as much muscle mass, it won't look as lean.
No.
I also think if you look at how he hits this pose, it looks almost like he's throwing his elbows up and back too high.
Yeah.
And that's what
I don't know.
He's not leaning back and sitting on his lower back like Justin is. So the
one thing I would say was a problem with the show as well. They had too many people on stage at once.
Yeah. So I feel like
they're all cramped together.
He's lost some actual like good looking on this pose. Like I feel like he can look better if he hits this a lot different.
Yeah, for sure. It's like if Max does go to the Cali Pro, I don't know if he is. You know, I think he's going to be top 3 for sure.
Yeah,
because a lot of the people that are going have that pretty physique.
Go top picture in the middle.
Top middle.
So there we have first, second, and third,
and 6th.
In this, like from this pose alone, I don't understand.
No.
Justin. From the front, you know.
He's very Victor Martinez-esque.
Yeah, I don't know how they can reward that level of conditioning. I actually don't. There is 0 lines in his legs. 0.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I don't know. I don't think it's a conditioning issue. Yeah.
Me in peak off season has more lines in my quads than that.
That's what I mean. I don't think it's a condition issue with Justin. I do genuinely think his physique is starting to deteriorate.
I mean, is that not a hallmark of Palumboism right there through his midsection?
That's what I mean. Like, his extremities are getting smaller. He's known for his arms. And I don't know, man. It's one of them.
But then if we look at Iain as well.
Yeah.
Upper body, front side, completely washed out.
Yeah. You can barely see the abs.
For me, how can you... Like, I sound like I'm picking on people here, but that's ultimately what we're here to do.
Yeah.
How can you reward that and give that first place?
Yeah, I think what we're getting
first place is meant to be with the least weaknesses, okay? Yeah. The whole of his front side, minus the leg, is weak.
Yeah. Who do you give then, out of this pose? Do you give it to John? I think
John De La Rosa wins that.
Yeah. De La Rosa wins, maybe even Patrick, despite being the smaller guy.
Just because of how cut up Patrick is.
You've got from that shot, you've got to give Patrick. I know it's a split second, but you'd give Patrick more of that over Justin.
Of course.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You guys know, right? I'm not even a big fan of Patrick's physique, but he came into this show and I don't know, it was kind of shit on a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think. Well, when was the last time he competed?
Arnold.
And how do you look
Yeah,
at Arnold?
He's very downsized.
Yeah, he was very small, flat, and his tan was shit.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a very good look for Patrick, but it's reminiscent of when he won the Cali Pro.
Yeah.
You know, he's not quite as shredded as he was at Olympia, but then again, the lighting for the show was pretty shot. So if you go down to that side chest shot on the second call out, just bottom left.
Yeah.
So here we've got, I think it's 8th, 9th, and 10th.
I think so. Yeah, the second call out.
Yeah. Quinn.
Just a bit lower than that. I think that's like 9th, 10th, 11th, I think.
Okay. I think Quinton got 8th place, 1 place behind Antoine.
Right.
So either way, you know, they didn't make top 6. But you can see, I think the people who came in with the most balanced physiques in terms of condition and fullness did get put into that second call. So, I mean, the first call out was a really weird judging decision. It's just, I don't know, it's very hard to even put opinion across because, you know, I don't even know what happened, to be honest.
It feels like they just put a bunch of names in a hat and picked them out.
Well, no, it feels like they know the names that should be at the top.
Yeah.
And they've put them at the top.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Quinn should have been in the first call out. All I mean is maybe give the guy a comparison next to, say, Iain or something like that. He might be smaller and a bit more streamlined as is, but I don't know. It's just weird.
I feel like,
he
potentially,
like the big.
I feel like he potentially has more from the side than Iain does. He is small though. It's hard to say because I haven't actually seen a comparison picture of the two together.
Yeah, none of these guys were compared with the
which is
with the top.
Annoying.
Yeah.
It's,
and ninth and 10th being fourth and fifth at Tampa. So it goes to show, you know, different style of judging. So
regardless, we'll give them an honourable mention because for his age and how new he is to the sport, like Quinton Aria, that is like the future he has is unreal.
That's
like the frame he has, the structure he has. He's a tall guy already. He's got oodles of muscle already. So it's another one of those Patrick Moores, but he's bigger.
Yeah.
I think he's more of he's like Tony Freeman with better arms.
Yeah.
So.
I just love how dense he looks through the upper body.
Yeah.
There. Nuts.
But yeah.
And then there's a back shot.
This says a lot to me.
See, once again,
first place is losing this shot. He's fourth.
He's fourth here. He's fourth.
Yep.
So he's not winning a front shot. He's not winning a back shot.
What is he winning?
I sound like I'm having a whinge here, but like I have got a big issue with the decision.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's coming fourth in this lineup here.
Yeah.
And you know, Patrick
where's Hassan? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they place him fourth, but they don't even put him in the call outs with the top four.
I'm seeing I hate to say it because it sounds very like, oh, I'm fucking fanboy. But I feel like there was a bias in the judging.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I don't think we're going to
see it any other way.
If we said there was a bias in the judging for Tampa or whatever, you know, we'd probably get some stick for it. I think it's pretty clear, you know.
Yeah.
I'd say Justin's winning this shot. John coming second with completeness. Patrick in third. You know, he's got some gaps, but biceps and glutes look really good. Shoulders look great. And then Iain looks like he's soft in the lower body and his back's pretty shallow. So
yeah, he doesn't look. It's not even like he doesn't look like he's got density, and he's not as wide as the other people.
Yeah, it's weird.
Considering he's meant to be the big guy.
Yeah.
He's looking a bit small.
He's looking a bit small here. Yeah.
What's crazy as well is Max Charles was like 270 in this show.
Big boy Mac.
Yeah.
How do we know Iain's stage weight?
He's usually around high 250s.
Yeah, it's 260. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's about
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he weighs that much.
No, he's got the biggest frame out of everyone. So
he is a few inches taller, though. You know.
Yeah.
There's more human there.
Yeah.
Like standing there, I mean, Iain wins just standing there. Like he's got the biggest frame and whatnot, but he's losing his pose by far.
Yeah, I agree.
No.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah.
Yeah, this is all prejudging as well. There's not been as much final footage.
That's all on this page. Should we have a look at borders? See if there's any more on there.
Yeah, there's not too much on there, to be fair.
That is not how you spell borders, Jermaine. It's not. No, you're right.
Now scroll down because this is all North Americans. But that's. See, he looks a little better there, a little better, but still soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, look, his midsection.
There's no detail.
You can see he pushed fullness for finals, but at what extent? Like,
where's the tricep there? Where is it?
Yeah. He hasn't got poor triceps. This is what I mean. Like, if you go back to the 2000
shot.
Yeah.
You know?
2018 Olympia or 2019 Tampa, like it smokes this look, like no hamstring detail, no glute detail.
Look at that.
Soft.
Look at that.
Soft.
Like,
and I don't want people to think we're just shitting on people because we're not. Because I like Iain's physique. I like the way he trains.
Yeah.
But I mean,
like how Iain's physique looked. I don't like how it looks now.
Yeah.
I like how it looks on Instagram.
Yeah.
Basically. But
I liked his look at the Olympia 2018.
Yeah.
I liked it when he won the Big Man Show 2017. I like the way he looked, when was it, Tampa last year.
That looks pretty, like structurally, looks
that looks
amazing.
Nice from a structure standpoint.
Yeah.
If he was leaner, it's lights out. But
it's not a lean thing. It's not. We see pictures of him coming into the show and he's peeled.
Yeah, is he overcarved? Is he flat? He can't be flat.
It's a peaking thing.
I think it's his peak, yeah. But he said for his peak this time, they didn't do any protocol. He was just on like. I think
plus, what we aren't taking into
consideration,
is these guys have been on and off prep for like almost a year.
It's true.
Like, are a lot of people just a bit washed out?
Yeah, but no, because if he just rocked up to the show as he's been doing in his progress pictures, then he'd be peeled.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
very true.
This comment right here kind of highlights an issue. This is a guy who won a pro show.
What did he place? He placed what? 11th or 12th at the 2018 Olympia?
And then he placed, wasn't it 14th or something?
No, because you had 15th, joint 15th was Josh Wade and Sergio.
Oh, yeah.
Then behind them was Juan Morel. What's his face? The freaky delt black guy with the one big leg. There was him anyway behind them. John De La Rosa as well. I think was there. I'm not sure. Maybe. And then it was Iain. But Iain came in shredded for that show. If Iain was to turn up in this condition and with this shape to the Olympia, I mean, you're not looking at top 10.
A lot of these comments I disagree with here. Like, he literally, what was the one I saw? Awful lines. He doesn't have awful lines.
No, he's got great lines.
He's got really good lines. It's just on the day he just doesn't come up with the cards, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people on Instagram do just go to the extreme and just try and shit all over or blow smoke up everyone's ass.
Look at that, man.
Oh, God.
Come on. You know what annoyed me as well? Do you know what annoyed me?
It's got to be 2-3 weeks out, right?
Like, I know your vision's slightly blurred and stuff when it's you, but the fact that he and Patrick Thor were like all over social media this morning, like celebrating, like, oh, we did it, like this stuff. I'd be disgusted if I looked like that on stage.
Here's a question for you both. Were you more disappointed with the Tampa look or disappointed in this look?
This one, probably.
Yeah, because he's had the time to improve and make the changes.
Yeah.
Like,
so it looked to me like he'd come
look
out
at this.
of Tampa, finished, stopped prep, and then for like the last 2 weeks post Tampa, 2 weeks pre this show, he's thought, let's do a prep. And it's just not gone great, in my opinion.
Like, respectfully here, I think from the rear, this looks not far off how lean I was last year for my second show, my first season ever competing.
It's got that look, right? It looks a bit washed out.
Yeah. Than the New York Pro, do you mean?
Yeah, as well.
You might get top 10.
They don't want the bigger look, right? They're not looking for the bigger guys, but they're not looking for the really conditioned guys. So I might win. You know?
Yes.
Look at this. Look at this.
I mean, to be fair, if he was peeled, it'd be a good shot. You can see that it's there.
If he was like paper thin skin, would look good. That is what this comes down to, right?
Yeah, I mean, keep that shot on the screen right now. Keep that shot on the screen. I'm going to send you a post on the screen, right?
Mm-hmm. Like, if you look at the updates he puts up from the side, and then compare them to that.
So we have this here.
Like, all you need to look at there is the tricep. Like,
and look at his face. Look, like, one thing I noticed, right? Every single pose he hits in the call-outs, I didn't see him smile once.
It's not the face of a confident champion.
Yeah, he doesn't look confident. He doesn't look.
Check out the post I've just sent to the chat. Put that up on the screen. And you can see what I mean.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's night and day.
Look at that. That's so good. Imagine if he had that conditioning.
You could, he's a bit smaller, but I mean,
it's so
does it matter?
Like, look at the comments. Insane conditioning.
Yeah.
Rookie of the year.
And this was almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see much improvement.
No weakness, as in, like,
he's probably at least 10 pound heavier now as well.
Yeah.
Awesome shape. It doesn't make sense, does it, when you think about it?
No.
It doesn't make sense. Borders. What a fucking post that is from the game.
So horny, I let him explain stuff.
Oh dear.
Yeah, let's get a lineup shot.
Go up there on the left. Wait. Go down. Down. On the left.
There we go. That's the winners. That's the award shot, right?
Who do you have there?
Well, Ian's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
Just different poses there, isn't it? It's apparent that in this show, that is Ian's better shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's somewhat hiding how flat he is.
Yeah, because in that shot, he looks big because he's flared out. He looks wider. But I don't know, man.
Strange one. Strange call. Very strange.
One.
Right, should we wrap this up then? Shout out to Antoine.
Huh?
As well. Go on Antoine's page.
Yeah, Antoine was good.
I don't want to. Yeah, it's very flat from the top. Top half of him was very flat.
Yeah, you can see it here though. You can kind of see that here.
Yeah. But it goes back to what I said. If you haven't got the muscle, if you're not that, that's a better shot. That's a better shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great shot. But he is a bit flat. Like, look at that chest there
yeah, you can see how flat
that chest is not going to do damage on a pro stage.
No.
We highlighted this months back that we said that Antoine's upper body was downsized.
Yeah.
And
it's like, look here. Look how in his lower body is here. Look how, like you could see where the carbs have gone here. Right?
Yeah.
And then you look at his upper back in comparison to his glute.
Yeah.
By those glutes, you'd think that his erectors, everything would just be absolutely inside out.
Yeah.
He does look flat. Yeah.
And his legs are
Incredible.
Insane.
That's for prejudging.
He's got,
That most muscular doesn't look too bad there, but
no, it's good. You can still see he's flat throughout the chest, but I mean he's not missing anything.
Yeah,
it's just
even his legs are flat there.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yeah. Still feathered though. Yeah, I feel like if he gets it perfect. Whew.
Yeah, I mean he's doing Cali next week.
Yeah.
So
he's in with a shot, isn't he? He is in with a shot.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. Look at this picture.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But it's just emphasizing to me that these guys are messing up their peaks, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't look like he's,
no,
particularly.
Like walk out on stage like that.
Yeah.
Because he's not flat.
Yeah, it looks full. Look at his delt.
It's crazy. So it's like that. They're trying to. I think a lot of people, a lot of coaches, they're going for that extra 5% and then losing 15%.
Yeah. I think so. Even Iain said that they'd stopped any protocol for this show, and all they're doing was water and carbs.
I think that's bullshit.
I don't know if I agree.
Yeah, but even if they did just do that, you can still mess that up.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. You've just taken a few factors out, but it could still go wrong.
Yep.
But
we want to touch on North Americans.
Yeah, real quick.
Or do you want to do another show on that?
I have to pick up work keys in 5 minutes.
Do another show on that.
Do another one on Americans.
We can.
Okay, sound. We can do that. I'm fine with that.
But yeah, let's give Iain some credit and finish the show with him on screen.
It's frustrating as well because through that I'm going to come across as that I hate Iain Valliere. But it's actually
I love him.
It's on the contrary. I really like him. I really like him. I can't watch a show where someone's rewarded and wins a show when they outright don't deserve. I could take it if it was like touch and go, but he doesn't win a pose really. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. And it's like you're saying, like we are being objective here with our opinions.
Yeah. It's why if like it wasn't ideal, but I think it's worked out in the favor of the production of this podcast. Like emotions have sort of been taken out of our response now. We are just looking at the facts, and
we're trying to see it from a judge's perspective. At the end of the day, annoyingly for this show, we can't even see the judge's perspective. Somewhat like the decision making behind some of the choices of placing doesn't make sense.
Well, I can. Iain Valliere is a previous Olympian. Yeah. Like he was tipped to win last show.
Yeah.
Didn't, messed up. And realistically, who else do they want in this show going to the Olympia?
Very true.
It's true.
The only person I could see them saying okay to would be maybe John De La Rosa.
Yeah.
I don't want to say all politics in bodybuilding, but they don't really care about Hassan going to the Olympia. He's not gonna sort of be anywhere near in the mix.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap it up there then, guys. Thank you so much again for watching and listening to Stage Talk. We'll be back again next time with the Cali Pro. We'll be back again for the Cali Pro, and we'll be back with Dan as well. Do you want to plug yourselves real quick?
Go on, Jack. Quick.
Jack _Thorben on Instagram. Team Heath, boys coming. The boys
Yeah, buddy.
coming.
Yeah, buddy.
Dream
Yeah,
killer.
Yeah, it came in the post with a nice import tax charge. Fuckers, mate.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Need any design work doing? Hit me up on Instagram. JZ Designs 1. JZ Bodybuilding on Instagram. You, Jermaine?
Yeah, so Jermaine Sully on Instagram and Ronin Online Coaching for all coaching inquiries. Cool.
Boom. This has been the New Year Pro wrap up here. Stage talk, off the script. We'll see you next time.
stage talk.